Is it working?
No.
Oh,
He can hear you, but of course they can hear you.
all right.
Cindy, thank you so much.
Yeah. All right.
Everybody impressed?
I heard some wows when I came in, so.
Go for it.
So are you guys about at the end of your tour? Still?
We're going to do a little more driving, but
Okay.
we're close to the end.
Okay.
Very close to the end.
So my name is Cindy Thompson. So I was up at Trine Park, saw some of you guys listen to the great presentations. And I'm just going to start off by saying at first I learned some stuff listening to the community people speak. And I'm always struck by what a connection there is. So many of those people that talk today have been on my board of directors before. Some link, Mr. Burgess's dad helped hire me about 32 years ago. He was on our library board of directors. So especially again, in a small town, there's so much connection and there is a lot of support. And I think what I've heard I was at the borough council meeting the other night, heard some borough people speak today. People are really proud of living in Mount Holly, and rightfully so, because I think it's a community that really cares about each other and really wants to improve. So thank you guys. I think this project is really exciting, and I'm going to be really interested to hear suggestions that you guys have from it, because it could be really impactful from us. And it's so great to get a younger perspective from you guys. So thanks for doing it. So I'm going to go through some things. If you want to ask any questions, if I'm leaving things out, or students want to ask any questions, that's great. So I'm going to just real quick history of the library. I wouldn't be a good librarian here if I didn't. So I heard some of you coming in saying, wow. And I can remember, I'm not from here originally. When I first came in here to interview for this job, I can remember saying, wow, when I came in, it is pretty cool. And I heard somebody say kind of Harry Potter-like. So there's a lot of history here. This is the oldest public library in Cumberland County, and actually one of the first 10 or so in the entire state of Pennsylvania. So what's important to know about public libraries is this library was built in 1889. And at that time, and certainly before that, you or I could not walk into a library and use it free of charge. Libraries mostly were what was called lending libraries, where you had to pay, and usually pay a hefty fee to be able to check out books. So it was not really accessible or affordable for a lot of people. So Amelia Givin Library, her portrait's in the other room. She is the one who built this library. A lot of people think it was maybe a house or a shop or something like that. She built it specifically as a public library for the townspeople in Mount Holly Springs. Her family started a paper mill here in Mount Holly Springs. I don't know if you guys swung by that on your tour at all. Her father and uncle started that. So for years in the 1800s, Mount Holly Springs was actually known, the nickname was Paper Town. So paper has a real history here in Mount Holly Springs. And Amelia Givin, all of her brothers passed away when she was in, I think, probably her 20s. Her parents did. And she wanted to, so she had quite a bit of money. She was actually running that company, which was very unusual for a woman at that time to run a business. She wanted to give something back to the townspeople, specifically the mill workers and their families here in Mount Holly Springs. So that was not usual at the time. Anybody could come in here for free and use our services, check out books, materials, things like that. So here we are about 130 years later, and we still exist. So we're really happy about that. Some of the services that we provide for libraries. So libraries are not just about books anymore. That's still a super important part, of course. You can see we're surrounded by books here. But libraries are so much more than that these days. Libraries are really community centers these days, where people can come in, get all the library materials that they're used to, but also connect with each other, get information, of course, using computers, online resources, internet access. All that stuff didn't exist, 30 or 40 years ago when I first started here. And a lot of people In this town, surrounding areas, they may not have internet access. It's pretty expensive to have it at home. Not everybody has a computer or laptop at home, so they're able to come in here and get access to all that information. I will be here sometimes on a weekend or late at night just running in. I see people sitting in our parking lot. First I think, oh, what are they doing? They're using our Wi-Fi because it's free, and you might not have that at home. People traveling through, sometimes they always know, stop at a library because they're going to have Wi-Fi. So a lot of different resources there. We are really a clearinghouse too for other people to access resources. We'll get calls, when is trick or treat night in Mount Holly? Where can I get tax forms? We've had people come in and they want, where can I get health services? I'm having, anxiety. Who can I turn to for help? So we are constantly, kind of referring people to other places as we can. We're a United Way agency, so we often refer people to other United Way agencies just to get some help for that. Partnerships in the community, that's a big thing. So you guys have been touring a lot of businesses, for-profit businesses. I heard Mr. Copeland talk about, like, some of you are assuming the role of nonprofits in this whole thing, which is very cool. So, while we're not running a for-profit business, at the end of the day, my goal is not to make money, although that's always nice to have a little bit extra. We're in the business of providing services and helping services to people in our community. So I mentioned, some of the partnerships we have. We work with the two school districts, Carlisle and South Middleton, are right around us. We'll work with the schools there. Kids will come down from Mount Holly Springs Elementary. We'll go up there. The same with South Middleton, just trying to provide resources for them. One of the big ones that we've been doing every summer, I love this. Project Share is the food bank here in the Carlisle area. They have 3 sites in the summers that they provide breakfast, lunches, and snacks for kids in the summer, because kids are not getting that when they're out of school. We are one of the pickup sites. So every Friday morning for 10 weeks in the summer, Project Share sets up in our parking lot. And we have anywhere between 100 and 150 of our local kids that come through here to get food and literacy materials as well. So that's a lot of kids who would not be getting food, nutrition regularly in the summer. So we love partnerships like that. Super important to do that. The borough here in Mount Holly has really been a partner to us over the years. They will provide some services for us, help us out when it snows, give a little bit of money to us, to provide some community services. So networking and partnerships are always really a big thing that we're looking at here. I was asked to just kind of share some of our dreams and aspirations here for the Amelia Givin Library. So money is always an issue with most nonprofits, whether it's schools or churches or, a lot of the United Way nonprofits. We never seem to quite have enough money, always operating on a shoestring. So it's really our goal to not be as dependent on government funding. So that's to have some more solid funding is really one of our goals. We do a lot of fundraising here, trying to help ourselves raise money, and that is pretty successful, but always an issue. A building addition. If I took you on a really specific tour of the library, you see we're kind of cramped for space here. There's not a lot of area if somebody wanted to get tutored or a small meeting room or something like that. We really need kind of addition going out the side, which of course costs money, which brings up all kinds of things. But that would be definitely one of the goals that I would have probably in the next 10 years as well. And then really an end goal, I think, of any nonprofit, especially ours, is really just to provide